I recently did a video showing you guys about this 10 gig TP-Link switch, and also in that video I used a couple of DAC cables that FS sent over to help me make that video. And I told FS that if they sent me these, I would also make a dedicated video about their DACs. Now, traditionally, I would show you guys or go into the specifics about these and prove to you that they work, but technically I've already done that. I've proven to you that they work. So in this video, I wanted to do something slightly different. I'm going to do a little bit of stress testing with this. Basically, what that means is we're going to bend this thing and see just how much torture it can take before it outright fails. And I probably broke it already. So that's what we're going to do. That's what this video is going to be about. Now, the reason why I keep using FS products is because I think they're affordable. They're certainly not the most expensive nor the cheapest modules out there, or well, obviously they sell more than just optical and DACs, but they sell all sorts of SFP and SFP plus modules. And so far they all look very competitive on price, and every single one they've ever sent me just works with, you know, my Ubiquiti equipment and my TP-Link equipment. And I think the people that watch this channel probably have a meld of both. So I trust in their product, and I think they're great for you guys to own. So that's why I keep making videos using FS products. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start stress testing this thing. So I already know it works, but let's go ahead and just give it, I don't know, let's be a little aggressive and just bend it like so. You see that? All right, let's go plug it in and make sure it still works. Okay, so I'm gonna be using open speed tests to do all of this. So we're gonna do this for each trial and see what we get. Now, I suspect that everything will be fine. And as long as we're in the neighborhood of 10 gigabit per second, I think we'll be, not 10 gigabit. In the neighborhood of 10,000 megabits per second, we should be fine, or 1 gigabyte per second. Okay, trial 1 complete. I would say this is normal. I'm guessing the not full throughput is actually due to this being a browser test, not iPerf. I'm just doing this for ease because I really just don't want to do iPerf testing this time around. So let's go add a kink on, or let's go pinch, the cable again, and see what happens. Aggressive pinch number 2. That's looking pretty brutal, starting to hold its form. All right, let's go do a speed test and see what happens. Okay, here's trial 2. Let's see what happens. So we got 9,700 megabits per second, I believe, in trial 1, and trial 2 is looking pretty much the same at this point. Well, that completes trial 2. It looks like we may have suffered a little bit on the upload speed, but more information is needed before we determine if there's a problem. All right, let's pinch it even more this time. Now that's a pretty aggressive pinch, I'd say. I put some real force behind that one. All right, let's go see what happens. All right, trial 3 is pretty similar to trial 2, I'd say. So let's keep bending the cable until we get some different results, eh? Yeah. And trial 4, no change. All right, with trial 5, I really put some, hand strength down in that one. And so far, so good. We might have to pull out some tools. No change as far as I'm concerned. Time to give them the clamps. Clamp them. All right, that should have done it. Still looking pretty normal to me. I guess we have to do something a little bit more aggressive. Not really sure what. All right, that one seriously had to mess that cable up, right? No? Maybe a little? Doesn't look like it. What else can we do? So this cable is proving to be a little bit more resilient, even with beyond 90-degree bend in here. So let's just get kind of creative with it, shall we? Oh, let's actually tie a knot. Knots are always fun. This cable is never going to be able to be used again, I'm sure. So, oh, that felt awful. Let's really just pull it there. Make sure you get a really good knot going. I feel kind of like nunchucks. I'm gonna hurt myself. Oh God. Oh, that one didn't feel good. Good thing I didn't swing it that hard. All right, let's go plug it in and see what happens. All right, this has got to be the one. That cable has got to be absolutely ruined now. It's perfectly fine. Well, yeah, it's perfectly fine. More knots, I guess. I'm not gonna even let this one finish. There we go. Oh man, I think that's still gonna work. Let's kind of give it a little pinch in here too. Just really clamp down a couple of times. Give it a clamps. Really wanna destroy this cable. Oh yeah. There we go. Man, that outer jacket is still holding up pretty well. You know, actually, before we do anything else, let's try this real quick. Okay, there is no way this is gonna work. There's no way. It still works. And it's perfectly fine. Well, maybe not perfectly fine, but this is acceptable, I would say. Oh my gosh. Alright, I guess we're really gonna have to abuse it this time. Oh my goodness. Admittedly, this is doing a lot better than I thought it would. So, aside from keep making knots, which I don't really think are gonna do much else. Like, oh, the jacket is literally exposed on the inside now. How about we just undo this knot? How about we undo all the knots? Because those clearly aren't doing anything. Probably gonna start a fire before I get this cable to fail. All right, look at that. So the cable's slightly destroyed from the knots that I made. So, taking some damage, but holding up well. Well, our cable's a little kinked, so let's try and straighten it out a little bit. Yeah, it looks like factory refurbished, you know? It's still kind of good, got some bend to it. Let's maybe twist these around a little bit. Let's twist both sides around, you know? Really wrap it and get it and yank it. Ah, that kind of hurt a little bit. You know, really get in there. Get those kinks out again. You know, obviously if I damage the electronic piece, it's not going to work, but that's not the point. We want to see how resilient this cable is. Honestly, I don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to do to it. Need better tools. I'm going to just give it another one of these. Really get in there. It's a nice bend. Man, I can't clamp this. There we go. Really just make sure we get all of it. And well, we did it that way, so we might as well do it the opposite way, because, you know, why not? Oh, like, I can't even bend it the opposite way, so we really need these this time. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Straighten that back out. For another one of these. There we go. Okay, it was perfectly fine. See if that one works. Okay, attempt number 110. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is trial 10. It still works perfectly fine. You've got to be freaking kidding me, dude. Well, maybe fine's a bit of an overstate. There's like no jitter. Don't know how that doesn't happen. We went up from 0.5 milliseconds of ping to 1 millisecond of ping. All right, I gotta know. Well, with iPerf, I'd say the results are pretty good. Getting around 9.4 gigabits per second. So, send and receive. Can't do much better than that. Well, it's pretty clear this cable's very well built, but now it's time to end its career and cut it in half and see just exactly what this thing is made of in the interior. Actually, let's go test it one more time to see if it works. No, I'm kidding. This one's pretty clearly damaged, so we're actually going to work with this one since it's not... Actually, it doesn't matter. We'll cut this one up. Alright, see what's going on inside this thing. Wow, that is a lot of protection. That explains why it's just so good. I'm trying to be very careful with this because I don't want to get a splinter in my skin. Alright, well, we got to remove the foil. So we got to go a little deeper. Even more protection. Wow. Okay, look at that. So there's two pairs that are surrounded in even more protection. This one is literally now broken, so what about this one? This one's still, no, this one's broken too. I don't know if I did that or not. Here's a, I don't know if you guys can even see this or if it's in view. Here's one wire. It is so thin. All right, that moved away really nicely. So there's another clear piece of plastic on this. This one's really hard to remove. So don't know where it starts. Okay, so I accidentally cut this one completely clean off. It's super fragile, so my bad there. But if we look here, I've got the jacket peeled away pretty well, and you can see the two individual wires in there. And it looks like there may even be still more material. I don't know if it comes up well on camera, but there still looks like there's like a clear plastic or something on that. So I'm just gonna keep working at it until we can see those wires by themselves. This might take a while, so I'm probably gonna cut off camera until I can get it done. Okay, so I finally got the last layer of foil removed. That's what this is. So got that removed with my knife. And all that's left are two more strands inside of the original two strands, which we can see that there's two cables right here, or two wires right here. And so now we can see that those two wires are actually three. So we have a total of 6 wires in here. And this one has no more protection on it at all. It's totally bare. But these other ones have some sort of plastic coating on them, it looks like. So I don't think we need to remove that, but yeah. So clearly, you know, we've got, this is a high quality cable. We've got one layer of protection, our second layer with all of these braided, I guess, wires. We have a foil, a really thick foil, a plastic layer, another foil layer, and then finally, before we touch bare wire, we have another plastic layer. It doesn't look like all the wires have that, because this one's totally bare and these two are protected, but it's still a lot of protection. Since we've absolutely destroyed this cable, let's go ahead and just try and get inside of the actual module itself. I've never taken one of these apart before, so it might take me some time, but I've always wanted to see what's inside of there. I mean, I'm sure it's just a chip, nothing too fancy, but I still want to make the attempt anyway. All right, here we go. Two screws right here. I hope this is in focus. I really have no way of telling. Okay, it's removed. So this is the spring-loaded mechanism that locks the DAC into, I guess, the SFP plus port. So like this, and it raises and it's in a locked position. Okay, that did not do what I think it was going to do. So it looks like we're going to have to remove this next. Let's get underneath here. Okay, that let the entire housing undone. This is free to leave. That's out. Interestingly, these ends are not soldered, which makes sense because these, I guess, are supposed to be individual wires on the inside. They just use glue all the way across. And there's the chip. Surprisingly simple. And this looks like maybe some molded plastic bit just to make sure everything stays in place that comes out of the factory. Very, very thick. Now I know why they don't want you to bend the cable at the ends here, because it gives these really tight bends. Heck, there is even additional protection here. See how easy this is to take off. Not very. That is a really strong glue. All right, so I got a nice indentation on my hand trying to get that out, so we're just gonna leave that alone. So now that we've ruined that cable, thankfully I asked them for 2 and they obliged and sent 2. So in the future we'll just be using our second one here for all future testing between my TP-Link gear. So I think it's pretty wild just how much, I don't know if that qualifies as true torture, but it's pretty wild how much, you know, effort went in there to try and make this cable fail, and it still worked. Obviously it's not going to work now because it's in 2 halves, but I mean, they've clearly put a lot of engineering into this, and I'm pretty surprised at how long it lasted. I thought it would give up after the first knot that I made, but getting 2 knots in there and a lot of twisting and everything else I did, that really surprised me. So I guess it makes me feel a lot more confident about my recommendation for FS products. And this video is not sponsored. They didn't pay me to make this. I just told them I would because they sent me this, you know, for another video. But yeah, I'm surprised at how well these did. Obviously, there's probably a lot more we could have done to this cable to really put it through its paces, like, you know, heating it up, fire, things of that nature. But obviously, you know, as long as this component here, all this entire area isn't damaged at all, it's probably going to continue to work even in high heat situations. You know, so long as, you know, you don't do what I did, obviously this thing is going to work perfectly fine. So wow, good job, FS. I've got little pieces of metal all on my hands and I just touched my head. Thank you so much, FS, for sending me this. Sorry about this video. I know this isn't what you expected. You wanted me to do something probably a lot different, but I think this is a lot more fun and more cool. So if you don't talk to me again, I totally understand. But nonetheless, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.